Hey, this is Jill with 10 Marks, and this is the first major module in 10 Marks professional development program. And I wanted to kind of give you a couple of getting started tips that we hope will help you really successfully integrate 10 Marks into your curriculum. First and most important, a couple of philosophical things to get started with. Number one, we believe that we want to make help resources available to you any time of day or night. So the program that I'm delivering here will help complement what you can access at any time on help.10marks.com. There are interactive guides and short videos for about every feature that you want to be able to understand, always accessible there. The other thing is that we expect that you're going to benefit from a phased implementation approach. So we're going to take you through three major modules of learning with 10 marks in this guided fashion, focusing first on curriculum integration through classroom assignments, then focusing in on differentiation and personalization, and then focusing in on monitoring progress and using data. But all of these modules are designed with an essential question that drives our professional development approach. So we hope that we can help you learn at your own personal greatest pace by organizing our resources around these three components of a driving question. Number one, how do we leverage 10 marks to support a growth mindset for mathematics in our school and community? How do we leverage it to continuously improve in our delivery of deep and rigorous math challenges at every level, currently covering grades 1 through Algebra 2? And then how do we use technology to effectively communicate among all the key stakeholders about the learning opportunities we're giving our students, including the students themselves, most importantly, yourselves as the teachers, and parents and administrators as well. So these components of our learning question will be present whenever we are connecting with you to dive into 10 marks learning topics. We also believe that learning is social, and that one of the best ways for you to learn at your own personalized best pace is to have an opportunity to connect with other teachers. Linda Darling Hammond of Stanford has a great quote. She says that teachers learn best by studying, doing, and reflecting, by collaborating with other teachers, by looking closely at students and their work, and by sharing what they see. And so throughout our teacher-guided PD, you should see plenty of opportunities to share with others and to learn and connect with us. So with that short philosophical introduction, I want to actually start with a discussion of, what specific learning challenge do we think that we can help with? And this is kind of a visual picture of what we think is a really compelling problem that many, many teachers face. Most importantly, that despite how well you have worked to prepare good and great lessons for your students, that in many cases, when you go to actually have them practice problems and see if they can transfer what you've taught into learning that has been received well, that we see time and again multiple ways that learning loss has happened. So when students are doing independent practice, in many cases they are not successful because there's not immediate help available. Sometimes we see that perhaps there's been a gap in the instruction that came in lessons before, maybe even years before. And in many cases, when students are working independent practice problems, they don't have feedback. They're not even aware that they've made an error. And so what ends up happening is that as you move along with your whole class instruction, there are students that get further and further behind. And we think that the unique approach we've taken in building this 10-mark solution is going to help both with the day-to-day curriculum integration and practices, and also at the end of your units when you're looking at assessment. And specifically, now that you've tried to assess what has been retained, what do you do next? So the way that 10 marks is going to fit into your classroom is pictured here. So we will provide a solution to hopefully help you drive increased student outcomes by centering our work alongside of your core instruction. So the idea is when you teach a lesson, you can assign a 10 marks, 10 question problem set for the students to work on. They'll receive the problems online, and they'll typically work the problem using a pencil and paper math journal. They still will want to do the problems offline and put their answers into the computer. But this 10 question problem set can be immediately scored by the computer, and you're going to learn in a few moments how deep and rigorous the problems are that we're giving them. They've all been newly redesigned to support the new state standards and the depth and rigor of Common Core. And what you'll see is that the flow will be that the student, when they've completed this 10 question problem set, if they've not yet mastered it, they'll get an automatic intervention that will be built into their user experience. They'll get basically a reteaching module and be given the opportunity to work a few problems together with the 10 marks program, and then loop back and do 10 more questions on the same topic, but different questions. So the core curriculum integration strategy is going to be to assign 10 marks problems after you've done the core instruction. We'll show you in just a minute how easy that can be. We're not going to go into great depth today, but to complete the picture of where 10 marks fits, you can use 10 marks as well to do assessments at the beginning or the middle or end of either a unit or the whole year. And when we use 10 marks to do assessments, the system will actually build individualized playlists for each student as a result of how they've done on the assessment. So this is the total picture, and in a nutshell, we are changing your role from doing a lot of the grading of student work yourself to more of knowing how to use the system to get data and insights from the student work, and also giving connections to parents at home. At 10 marks, we believe that students learn best when they're engaged, nurtured, and motivated. We also believe that every student needs a personalized program, one that presents the math concepts they need to learn in manageable sections, using comprehensive and clear assignments, and also helpful hints and embedded video instruction. Our rigorous curriculum is built on research-based instructional philosophies. You'll see much of the work we do today will focus on practice and the importance of students being able to do independent work, demonstrating that they've transferred the instruction into practice. You'll also see in general that we have built in interventions and support for students, primarily to give them real-time feedback when they're stuck. So that's going to be a major component of 10 marks. What you're not going to see on 10 marks is the old style of select the right answer kind of multiple choice questions. In fact, 10 marks is only about 10% multiple choice questions, and primarily we're going to be offering the new kind of standards-based problems that are illustrated in the Common Core and illustrated here. So you're going to see lots of multiple part questions, you're going to see lots of visual models, you're going to see multiple correct answers and constructed response. We think it's all about the depth and rigor of the program. And so, for instance, here, this is actually an example of a multiple choice question. But what you're seeing is a basic rounding problem. And what we're trying to do is not just, what is the answer, but why is the answer that way? If the students are struggling or they don't know what approach to start with, they can actually click on hints, which they'll see one at a time. And you see 3 hints here on this problem, but the hints are specifically not telling the student, what is the procedure. They're just almost acting as if you were walking up to a student and asking them to start thinking in the right direction. These are scaffolded hints, almost a Socratic method accompanying these deep and rigorous problems. Here's another example, and what you're seeing here is that the student in this case has clicked on a video that is supporting this problem on solving linear expressions. And what happens when the student submits their work, they actually have a chance to submit and review their work and have the system score what is correct, what is partially correct, and what is incorrect. And if they do not succeed with greater than 80% on their assignment, in our premium product, they'll actually receive an amplifier that is about a 10 or 15 minute reteaching module, and it will take them through some new content as though they were learning the standard for the first time, and they'll actually be given a chance to work some diagnostic questions that will adapt to their answers and give them this reinforcement of the topic before they're given another 10 question problem set. So when you integrate a 10 marks assignment into your lesson, they'll go through each one of the 10 questions and this process in many cases before you'll have to look at their work again. Once they've submitted their work, you have a wonderful view of what the students have done. You see here, this is a closed assessment report. It shows you the detail for each student in terms of what they scored, how long they took, and whether they've been watching hints or videos. At the bottom of this page, let me actually show you in a slightly larger view. I'll show you in the live product, but this actually gives one of my very favorite reports because it's showing the most common mistakes at the bottom of that report. Sorry, it's cut off the screen a little bit, but at the very bottom of this assignment report, you'll get this wonderful summary of what are the top 3 problem areas that most of your students had. You'll also be able to print individual reports from all of the students that have been working on 10 marks. So let's go ahead and do this together in the live system and give you some examples. So here we are on 10 marks. And one of the first things that you're going to be doing is looking at what unit of study have I just been working on. And probably this is going to be, like if it's an average Tuesday in my class, you're going to be logging in to your teacher account and you're going to be choosing a specific assignment to send to your students. When you log into 10 marks, you'll see all of your classes are listed here on the far left. The curriculum tab is going to allow you to actually organize what content you're seeing. You'll notice that for each one of your classes that you set up, it will have the grade level standards for that particular course, and you can actually add in additional content or manipulate the content. You can add it in and select at any grade level additional content. So if I wanted to move up and see some content from grade 5, I could just click that and it would be added. In this case, you see I've already added some grade 2 and I've started moving things around. So this is just kind of a first getting started step on an average day. If I've just taught magnitude, I'm just going to click on my home page and then go to assignments and take maybe 10 minutes or so to create a new assignment. Choose what specific topic I'm going to actually have the students doing work on. I have to choose, am I going to send it to all the students or just individuals? What standard? And then when I want this to be done by. So when I choose a due date, I actually now have an opportunity to preview the assignment. I almost always do this just to make sure that the type of problems that I'm seeing are in fact the type of problems that we've been working